fans of Let's Talk Chicago Bears. How are ya? Now that the Bears aren't playing, I don't really get to see you guys that much, and you don't get to see this awesome face all that much. I know you're missing it. I know it. So I thought I better do a show this week. I'll do a show, of course, next week for the Super Bowl. And then, as I've said, any big announcements the Bears have from now until the draft, I'll come on and do a show if there's any good trades or whatever, signings or whatever. That isn't happening yet. I believe that starts in February sometime. I'm not sure yet. But they have been doing some hiring of coaches. So let's go. We'll talk a little bit about that. What do you think? Okay? So the Bears have been, I gotta take off my glasses here, sorry. The Bears have hired this week. Well, we all know last week that the Bears hired a new D coordinator, and his name is Sean, and I'm going to spell his last name Desai. And Sean has been with the Bears since 2013, so he's lasted through, 3 coaching changes, and he's done various stuff all on defense. And before joining the Bears in 2013, he started coaching in college. Started in 2006, and he did a lot of coaching, all defensive. He did various jobs, so he's pretty versed with position. So I like it. Why not give somebody a chance? He's young. I think he's in his late 30s. He's like 37 or something like that. I don't know. But, I'm for it. I think it's a good idea. A lot of people, they should go after this or that. You know what? The old farts, don't get me wrong, I'm old, so I can say that. But you know what? If there's somebody out there that might, who just needs that chance, let's go for it. And he's been with the Bears throughout, like I said, since 13. So, and he worked with Vic Fangio, which that's what I like. And you read nothing but good stuff about this guy. And a lot of the players just love him. So that right there is huge. I know that they loved Vic and they didn't want him to leave. I didn't either. And then I know that they really respected Chuck. And I like Chuck too. My biggest problem with Chuck Pagano was he didn't seem to make adjustments in the second half. He stuck with his game plan, and I don't think he rushed the quarterback enough. I really don't. But what are you gonna do? All right. So this week they have hired as their defensive line coach Chris. Maybe it's Rump. I don't know. Rumph. I told you guys from the beginning of the year, I'm challenged with names. So Chris, last year Chris was with the Texans. That was his first time in the NFL. And before that, he spent 18 years in the college football. So he did various things for 18 years, and then last year he joined the NFL as a defensive line coach for the Texans. So he comes over and joins us. So welcome, Chris. And then today they hired Bill Mcnall, inside linebackers coach. All these guys, they're no wonder there's so many people on the sideline besides players. There's about 10,000 coaches. The inside linebackers coach, his experience, he's been in the NFL for 7 years, and before that he spent 29 years at the college level. And he's done all kinds of I'm just not going to list it all, but everything on the defense he's done. So let's hope he gets these linebackers. We need some work on our linebackers. There's no doubt about it. Which, if we can get our linebackers really solid, well, we know Roquan Smith is just the bomb and he rocks. So, and he is the quarterback out there. Danny's on the old side. He has his good and bad days, and then the third one is always, well, these are linebackers. he's inside linebackers, but still, linebackers are linebackers, period. The third one is always just rotated in. So it really would be nice, like the olden days of, their early 2000s and through and 90s, when we had three. You usually have one really good one and two solid ones out there. So you have three solid linebackers, and we need that again, because then once that happens, that starts to open up the defensive line to go after the quarterback more, and it's going to help with the run, stop the run. Of course, when you're rushing the quarterback, you have to have a good secondary, and the Bears do. Now, we'll see what happens in the offseason, so that could be huge. So, and then they also hired a Bill Staley, Suey, Shuey, Bill Suey. And this is the one that makes me laugh. He's a defensive pass assistant / no, excuse me. He's a defensive pass analyst / assistant linebackers coach. The names of these coaches, it just cracks me up. I don't know. The defensive pass analyst. I don't know. I like it. What do you do? I'm a defensive pass analyst. But he's also assistant linebackers coach. And he joined the Bears in 2018, so he's been around for a few years. And he was the defensive quality control coach. Defensive quality control coach, which really means he works with the defensive line, he works with the inside linebackers and special teams. So I guess he's just a little bit of all of it. So that's what he had done since 2008 with the Bears, 2018 with the Bears. So he's been around. So he's being promoted, so I like it. He has spent his he spent most of his NFL career with the Eagles and Andy Reid, and that started in 2001. So he's been around a while too. So the Bears have done work. They've filled their defensive coaching vacancies. So that's a good thing. So I think that's there might be some weird other things they're going to fill, but right now that's it. So, you're not really going to hear much more until the free market opens up, which it's sometime, I believe, in February. And if not, it's early March. It's either late February or early March, where free agency starts. So that's until then, things are going to be quiet. There's not going to be much. So after the Super Bowl, I don't know how many football shows I'll be doing. But we'll see. Anything that pops up. So I told you about that. So there's some little weird stuff that this isn't weird, but the Bears defensive end Mario Edwards Jr. He's no longer under contract with the Bears, and my guess he won't be coming back because he's a free agent come March. Okay, so there goes answers that question. Duh, Lynn. Free agency starts in March, so it'll be free agency. But he has been suspended without pay for the first 2 games of next season, the 2021 season, for violating the NFL policy on performance-enhancing substances. So, you know what? Come on, Mario. What the fuck? You don't think they're going to check for that? I don't understand these guys, And then they go, oh, I didn't know my vitamins or my supplement had that in it. Bullshit. You know what? When you're in baseball, basketball, football, and I'm sure hockey, and you're taking supplements and vitamins and this and that, I imagine you're going to investigate so you're not breaking no rules because it's freaking important. Okay? So, my guess, he probably won't be back unless nobody else wants him and we can get him super cheap. But we'll see. Because he can't even play the first 2 games. So, and I'm just not into guys like that who pretend like they didn't know. And here's an interesting little tidbit. The brother of Brian Urlacher was pardoned by the last president. His name I only refer to him as 45. And he was pardoned on the last day when 45, I think he pardoned like 140 people. And the reason he was in trouble was had federal charges that he recruited for a multi-million-dollar illegal offshore betting ring. Okay, so I guess if you can't make it in the NFL, you're going to go do something illegal. But don't matter, he was pardoned. So he's not in trouble anymore. But that just, I was like, what? I don't know. These guys, what are you going to do, right? It just made me laugh, so I thought I'd throw that little tidbit in there. And the one thing I do want to say is the Bears have a lot of work to do in the offseason. We know that. And these two guys stand out to me. As we know, Allen Robinson wanted to restructure his contract before the 2020 season, and the Bears said no. Now, in my opinion, they made a huge mistake, and I'm sure they're realizing it now because he had another fantastic year. He really did. And teams are going to go after him. So the Bears are letting him dabble his toe in the water to see who wants to pay him. And I think the Bears are going to regret it. I really would be shocked if he's back. I want him back so bad, but I just don't think it. They could franchise tag him, but I doubt it, because if they do that, then they got to pay whatever top dollar for a receiver, and I believe it's a lot, and the Bears can't afford that and aren't going to do it. And the other guy, hands down, these are the two most important, I think. I mean, there's a lot of important guys, but these two are the most important, is the kicker, Santos. We have to get him signed because we did not have to worry about kicking last year, so they got to sign him, and I'm sure they're going to make every effort into signing him because if Pace has learned anything, is kickers are so important, because it's been a problem until 2020 season after he got rid of Robbie Gould, which was a huge mistake. That was the biggest first mistake he made, that idiot. So yeah, that's that. I just wanted to throw those in there. I really am concerned. Yes, there's a lot of free agencies if you go out there. The Bears have, and these are the two most notable. So we really need to get them signed, and everything else. And what else is going on with the league is all the rumors are going on with quarterbacks being traded and quarterbacks being, and the biggest story going on right now is, excuse me, my microphone's acting up again, is Watson of the Texans. I was reading many articles, and one reporter wrote, he's like, listen, this team, they have a franchise quarterback. He's obviously not happy. He just signed an extension before the 2020 season started. So everything was good. And then all hell broke loose during the season. Their coach got fired and all that stuff. And believe me, he deserved it. But and just everything. So he doesn't want to play there anymore. But you know what? You think that owner, the GM, players, they should be kissing his ass within reason, because he is a franchise quarterback and you could be around. He's 25 years old and he can sling that ball. And the thing is, he says, I want out. And the thing is, it's going to be very hard for them to trade him, because the only positive this year, as I read, is that when they restructured his contract, a team, let's say they trade for him, they'd only be hit this year, 2021, for $10.5 million, because that's the way they structured it. But next year, in 2022, they would be hit with $40.2 million. So, because of the signing bonuses and whatnot, the Titans do this thing. And let me tell you, if they trade him, teams are going to have to give up at least 2 first-round picks, if not 3. And then they're going to have to throw some second-rounders in there. And that is a lot. I mean, the money's one thing, but it's giving up those first-round picks that hurt. We had to give up what did we give up? 2 or 3 with Mac, and that hurt. We all saw how much that hurt. And so you gotta, of course, a quarterback like that, you say to yourself, he's worth it, yes, but it really, really hurts for the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years, and I'm sure you're going to have to give up a lot because he's good. So I think they're making a huge mistake. I think that owner needs to sit down one-on-one with Watson and find out what the real problems are. I know he's not happy with because he wasn't included in the GM hiring and the because when they fired the coach, he was also the GM and the coach, which I've said before in my show. I don't think you should be both. There's just too much responsibility. You need a GM just doing GM work, and you need the coach just to be running the team. But so he was pissed about that, and he's not happy. And, I could see where teams like, listen, the owner and the GM, or the owner says, this is my team. I control it. I get that. No player is going to tell you what to do. So I get that. But you got to sit down and make this guy happy. You really do. Within reason, you need to kiss his ass, or you're going to be, you're going to have a ton of first-round picks, but are you going to find another Watson? The other quarterbacks out there that are being rumored, as everybody knows, is Carson Wentz of the Eagles. And there's the coach of the Eagles, the coach of Indianapolis used to be the quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator for the Eagles under Carson Wentz. And when Carson was making was really doing well, it's because this guy was there. Now he's the head coach, and I just forgot his name. Told you, pickled brain. And so there's a lot of rumors that Carson Wentz is going to go to Indy. We'll see. There's other teams that need quarterbacks out there. Carolina is making some noise that they want to go after Watson, so we'll see that. That's kind of my prediction reading, that if he goes anywhere, it'll be Carolina. And then the Rams want to trade Jared Goff. But the salary cap is making it very hard for him to be traded. And the thing about Jared Goff is he's not terrible. I've heard he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but that doesn't mean anything. There's been some dumb quarterbacks that have been good out there. Not all football players, not all baseball players, not, all of them. There's not always really smart ones, and then there are really smart ones. But I think Jared Goff is young enough that he could still be coached up. I really do. And I think he'll be on the team this year. And they said if he does not get traded, there's going to be a competition. I think, like I said, I think he could be coached. I just don't know what you're going to get for him because, again, he's young. He did go to the Super Bowl, right? And they lost, right, with him. And where they went to the championship game. And so he hasn't done a lot yet, but I don't know. Somebody like that, do the Bears want him? I don't know. It's hard, to say who to get. We've been screwed over so many years with quarterbacks. I don't even know what to say anymore, what we should or should not do. So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be an interesting offseason with some of these quarterbacks. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Sean McVay is a pretty dang good quarterback, a coach. So I don't know. He obviously must not like him if he wants to get rid of him because I think he could coach him. But who knows, right? So we'll see, right? Let's keep our eyes open. And then we know on February 7th, it is Super Bowl Sunday. It is Tampa Bay and Kansas City, and it is, for the first time ever in the NFL history, that a home team is playing in their own stadium for Super Bowl. Never happened before. So that'll be interesting. I don't know how it's not going to be full. There's going to be fans, I know, but it's not full. So again, it's not like it's home field, but it is. I'm rooting for Kansas City there because I don't want Tom Brady to win. I wanted him to beat the Packers, which he did, but I'm rooting for Kansas City. Tom Brady has been in 10 Super Bowls. 10. Hasn't won them all. What did he won? 6 or 7? I mean, come on. Let's share a little bit, okay? We've been in, we haven't had a quarterback that's been in more than one because we can't get a quarterback. Why can't we get a quarterback? I swear to God, I think the Bears are cursed in that department when it comes to quarterbacks. Kind of like the Cubs and that stupid goat. There must be something with the Bears. We got to find out, and we've got to bring in what do you call them? The people that gets rid of spirits and gets them out of there. We need one of those to get the bad luck of quarterbacks out of the Bears. I know everybody says the Bears are not going to be good until the McCaskies sell the team. It isn't going to happen. Well, the only way I see the McCaskies selling the Bears, and they might very well, is when Virginia, the mother, who is the soul, is the top of it, really. She passes away and she's 97, so you don't know. You can hear my cat joining in. Excuse me, this is my show, Elvis. God, he's always trying to cut in. So anyways, that's a little tidbits of what's going on with the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that next week when there's more that comes out, because there'll be a lot more news with the Super Bowl next week. This is kind of the quiet week. I'm kind of bummed that it's almost over, but it is what it is, right? And again, I always thank my fans. Oh, and don't forget, again, I'll be doing shows after the Super Bowl until the draft. Once free agency starts, I'll be doing shows once a week. If something good happens or something bad happens, I'll do shows for you guys because I got some good subscribers and fans, and I love you guys. And then come March, I'll be doing a new show. And it's such an original title. You're going to love it. Let's Talk Chicago White Sox. So I know it's rough for some people because they're like, oh, man, I'm a Cubs fan and I want to watch you. I know. But you know what? Tune me in anyways, because you know what? I'm fun. And I've told a lot of good Bears stories this season that's made people laugh. And I got some great White Sox stories. And, of course, who doesn't want to turn on to see this face? Remember, it's my dad's face on a woman's body. Just isn't fair. I want everybody to stay safe. Stay healthy. Try to stay positive, because I got to tell you what, it is really tough. This entertainer right here has had her ups and downs in 2020, and 2020 has not really been any better. It's rough. But if we stick together, we can get through this. And every time I look on my YouTube after I do a show and I see how many people are watching, it really does make me smile. So, you know what? For that alone, I thank you, because I need it. Because this has just wreaked havoc with me, this pandemic. But let's stick together, as I always say, help people out, love one another, because it's just so much easier to get along with people than to fight with them. You know what I mean? Let's just bring this country back together to the country it was. I don't know what happened. Well, I do. I'm not getting into it. But so I love you. You are the best fans ever. I'm so blessed to have you. So stay healthy, get your vaccines, and keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. Bye-bye.